Let's talk about these globe and star twinkle lights. These are so cool. I got them for my daughter for her dorm. I haven't even shown them to her yet, but she's going to go wild. She's going to love them so much. They're really long. You get quite a lot of space. I like that there's a lot of lead room between where you plug them in and then between where it starts the twinkle lights. You can see this is what the star looks like. That's what the little globe looks like. You get a remote control. The remote control already has a battery. Thank goodness, because I hate going and buying batteries. You just pull the little plastic plug part out when you first get it. On the remote, on, off, has different modes that are really pretty. You can make them brighter or dimmer. There's a timer. The timer mode is really neat because when you push the timer mode, they will turn on when you push it. So that sets the timer mode. And you can set the timer mode either by the remote or by holding down the blue button on the USB for 3 seconds. When you do it for 3 seconds, it will turn the USB green. When green is on, that means the timer is on. So the timer means that it will have the lights on, whatever mode you have them on, for 6 hours. And then they will turn off automatically for 18 hours. And then at the 6-hour mark, when you started it, because that makes 24 hours, it will turn on again. So imagine setting it for 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. You'd have to do that, be in your room and set it that initial time. But then every time you come home from school, you come home from work, walk into the room, and these are already on. And then around the time you go to sleep, they turn off. So you've got dark for sleeping, and then you just it's like a cool, dreamy, whimsical routine, but that you can always just turn off. As far as the modes go, you can either control them by the remote, or you can, if you lose the remote or whatever, you can push the blue button on the USB part, the charger, and it will go through. So this is one. The regular just stay on mode that I had it on is mode 8. But this is 1, 2, 3, it reminds me of Christmas, 4. This one takes turns between the stars, and then it will go to the globes. 5. And when I'm doing this, you have to point it towards the USB where it's plugged in for it to definitely work. 6, 7, and then 8 again is normal. And then turning the dimness down. So I just kept pressing it, and then the dimness up blinks every time they go up. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but with them right here, they get a little brighter, but they're not incredibly bright or incredibly dim either way. It's a pretty subtle. I don't have any complaints about this. I think it's really ingenious. I think it's just the way that it has the USB that you can change it with, and then also the remote. I love that. I just think they're very dainty and pretty. I think all the modes are really cool. I think the timer mode is absolute killer. I just think a lot of thought was put into such an inexpensive and value-packed product. And they are pretty long, especially if you have these in a dorm room or just going around any size bedroom. I think 1 pack would probably be enough. Maybe if you want to double layer them, or if you have a really large room, you might need 2. But for the value, I wouldn't even look further. I really think these are 10 out of 10, a really good find.